I am going to show you how to do lucid dreaming correctly. There's a lot of these methods online like wild and mild. These are all trash. I will show you the right way how to do lucid dreaming and in fact chemically induce lucid dreaming using the lucid dreaming elixir. Alright, so let me get my marker. Alright boys, so here's the thing about lucid dreaming, right? First, a lot of people don't even believe that it's true. It is absolutely true, and the science actually backs this. They did 3 experiments, which I can recall, which actually prove that it is true. The first experiment, they asked these people who claim to be lucid dreamers to visualize a triangle. And they take the electrical impulses in an fMRI scan. And they ask them to dream when they're sleeping. And it's the same exact results which they get, proving that they have control over their dreams and they can visualize what they said they would visualize. Another experiment which they did is they told the scientists, they told these lucid dreamers what pattern to move their eyes while they're dreaming. And they tracked their eye movements while they were dreaming. And they were able to consciously mimic that same exact pattern, showing that they could actually have control over their surroundings and their eye movement even during their dreaming phase. They did other experiments too, like clenching the fist. The same, they told the lucid dreamers to clench their fist as they lucid dreamed, and the exact same electrical signals which happen when you clench a fist happened when they were dreaming. So lucid dreaming is a fact. There's no question about this. In fact, I believed in it, let's say, because of Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, and I mean, you probably know Tim Ferriss, right? So Tim Ferriss actually has a story where he talks about wrestling. So he got good at wrestling by practicing wrestling as he slept during lucid dreaming, and that skill actually carried over into his practice the next day. So that immediately got me curious. It's like, that's a superpower. If I can practice stuff and get good while I'm sleeping, that gives me a genuine edge over the competition. So that's why I started doing it in the first place, and there's a certain reason I stopped doing it, and now I'm picking it up again because I want to get good at these live lectures, and every bit of practice helps. So what are the benefits that you can expect from lucid dreaming? The first one is, of course, the rehearsals like I mentioned, but it doesn't have to be just rehearsals. You can rehearse anything. You can rehearse specifically social interactions. Suppose you are a shy guy, you don't have confidence in public. Understand. Suppose you kind of have some kind of insecurities about your physique, your face, whatever it is, right? You can actually practice social interactions in your lucid dreams. Suppose you have trouble speaking to girls, as every guy does at some point in their life. You can practice and put in the reps in the comfort of your dreams. You can play the scenario out in any number of ways as you sleep. And yes, absolutely, this skill does carry over. And indeed, this was one of the first skills I was trying to improve on while I mastered lucid dreaming. The most important component, of course, is not any of these things. It's actually the improvement of the self-image. I've told you this before in a previous lecture, the one on brainwashing, which was yesterday, that your success always lags behind your self-image. If by some chance your success gets ahead of your self-image, for example, if you win a lottery, you win $1 million, but your self-image is still behind, you'll actually be confronted with immediate and successive failures until that success comes back behind your self-image. So the real way to have genuine, lasting improvement in life is to improve the self-image. And you can do this using lucid dreaming. I'll, of course, pad it out and give you the full autistic level steps soon. I'm sure you must be eager to learn this lucid dreaming elixir, so let's get into it. I will warn you that this elixir will actually work on the first night. Alright, this is a chemically induced lucid dream. But I don't recommend you do it on the first night because you aren't really looking for the lucid dream as such. You want the benefit of lucid dreaming. So I want you to follow the protocol which I've laid out for you. There's nothing like this on the internet. If you want the benefits of lucid dreaming, please just do what I'm saying. Just have trust and just adhere to this, all right? Lucid dreaming does have some dangers, which I will walk through. But if you do these, then you'll get the best of it without any of the risks. So let's start talking about the protocol. Hopefully you can see this and the camera's not like too close to me or anything. Hopefully, by the grace of God, the camera's pointing in the right direction today, because yesterday it was pointing the other direction. I made you guys watch grass grow literally for 30 minutes. So let's talk about week 1. So this is a 2-week program. Week 1 is recall. So in week 1, you are not actually trying to induce lucid dreaming. All you're trying to do is improve your dream recall, all right? So dream recall is basically how well can you remember your dreams. If you're the kind of guy who just has felt like you never had a dream that you could remember, then this is most important for you. And I'm going to teach you the Casio method. I don't think there's anybody online who understands this concept well enough to have a method like this. So the Casio method comes from my watch, this Casio, which, of course, you don't have to have exact watch, and you don't even have to have a Casio for that matter. You can have any kind of digital watch which has an hourly chime function. The hourly chime function is basically, I set it up such that every single hour, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it'll beep. And I'll notice that beep, and I'll look at my watch. And let me explain this very carefully, all right? So the hourly chime function, after it's enabled, makes you do something called full day mindfulness. So full day mindfulness is kind of a relaxed state of mind throughout the day, because every single hour you're being reminded to be mindful. When that hourly chime chimes, you'll look at your watch, look at what time it is, take a deep breath, let it out. Be very aware of the environment, like literally every detail. Like I'm looking at a beautiful scenery of grass in front of me, and I'm looking at every single blade of grass, every leaf that's fallen down, the concrete under my shoes, the feeling of this, whiteboard against my hand, the environment, the warmth against my skin. Take another deep breath, let it out, and become aware of the body itself. So the feeling of the pressure I'm applying on the surface, the feeling of breath going into my lungs, bodily awareness. So there's two components, right? Environmental awareness and body awareness. And you're doing this at the chime of every hour. And I'll explain exactly why this is happening. The other component is the reality check. So if you've ever looked at lucid dreaming videos online before, you'll be aware of the idea of reality checks. And the most common reality check is doing this. Like I have in my mind the intention of pushing my finger through my palm. And obviously it doesn't happen because I'm not dreaming. But in the dream, I could actually do this, because in the dream you kind of control the physics. You can do what you want. So the reality check which I'm going to give you is, take your watch, right? You're already concentrating on the watch because you looked at it for the hourly chime. You're going to try to slide it off. Have it in your mind, I can slide off my watch. Obviously it doesn't happen because I'm in reality right now. I'm not dreaming, so the watch doesn't come off. That's a reality check. If the watch does come off, you know that you are in a dream. And then we have the totem. So the totem is your watch. So understand what I'm doing here. I'm creating a system where this watch has become your tie to reality. Have you seen the movie Inception? They each, like character in Inception, they have this specialized item which they carry, which is their totem. And they use the totem to distinguish between what's a dream and what's reality. That's exactly the concept I'm going for here. By tying together the mindfulness aspect of your body and the environment to this physical object, this Casio watch, and by kind of practicing this reality check for the first 1 week, you have encoded these thought patterns and this behavior pattern, and it's tied to this physical object, this watch. So when you are in a dream, which you aren't going to be inducing a dream right now, right? You're going to be inducing a dream only in week 2. When you're starting to induce lucid dreams, and you have these mental habits and these physical habits, this will be your tie to reality. And you'll know when you're in a dream, when you're not, and when you're lucid dreaming, you can use that essentially as your tether to what's real and what's not. All right, so that's the totem, your Casio watch. And then you're going to keep this watch either on you. You can actually wear it when you're sleeping, or you can actually take it off and put it next to your pillow if you want, because that hourly chime is still important. So the hourly chime has become your cue for mindfulness and this practice of trying to take your watch off. That cue stays with you even in your REM sleep. So when you are sleeping, you're deep in sleep, but your ears are still working. When your ears hear that chime, it's going to send to your brain, hey, remember, we're supposed to be mindful right now. We're supposed to take this watch off right now. And in your dream, you'll actually have that sensation. You'll have a sensation to be more vigilant of your dream. And then you start realizing that you are in a dream, because the dream doesn't really look like reality. It's just odd, and you'll have kind of a feeling, right? You start observing things, and they don't have the same kind of resolution as they do in real life. It might be hazy, might be blurry. Things aren't making logical sense. I mean, it's a dream, right? It's literally a dream. And then you have the sensation, maybe I'm in a dream. Try to take off your watch, and it comes off. There you go, boom, lucid dream. That's the concept of the Casio method. And then I also want you to habit stack this thing called journaling. I mean, you obviously know what's journaling, but this is specifically dream journaling. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to have a journal next to your bed, and whenever you have a dream for the first 1 week, you're not trying to induce any dreaming, by the way. It's just like preparatory phase. Every time you have a dream during the first week, you're going to journal about it. Specifically, you're going to be focusing on the environment. Write a couple sentences, 2 or 3 sentences about the place where you find yourself in your dream. For me, I have a lot of dreams in nature, which is, I like that. So I'll describe the nature around me, the greenery. And I think it's probably because I spent a lot of time of my childhood in nature, like literally climbing trees, eating raspberries right off the branches, spending all my time kind of alone, but with nature. I think that's kind of seeped into my subconscious, and that's why I love this setting so much. So environment. The second thing you journal about is symbolism. So oftentimes in dreams, the objects that you see have a deeper meaning to them, and you may not be able to interpret them, but that's fine. Just write down what symbols you see. For me, a recurring theme has always been bridges. The setting of the dream could be different. I could be in a city, I could be in nature, I could be in a desert, but there's always some kind of bridge. Even though the bridge looks different, that tells me that there's a symbolism. There's something going on in my subconscious about a bridge. And bridge can be a symbol for tying 2 different things together, could be a symbol for going from one place to another, transition point. Don't know why, but that's a symbol which manifests in my mind. So I'll write my best interpretation of that symbol. Of course, your symbols can be completely different. A lot of religious folk will see religious icons, which is really cool. But it's completely different. Some people will see birds very often. They'll see lizards. Lizards is a common one. Some people have bad symbols too. Some people will dream of teeth falling out, and that could be a symbol. Tooth could be a symbol. So write your best interpretation for what that might be, and then you talk about your emotions in your journal. You're talking about the mood of your dream. Happy, sad, lustful, highly possible that it's lustful, jealous, envious. Depends on what your subconscious is giving you. And I don't want you to shy away from everything. That's why I wrote no secrets. Your dreams could be dark places, man. Your dreams can be dark places at times. But if you are hiding it, that's not helping. Even if your dreams are of some kind of a criminal nature, it's better to write it out than to suppress it, because that's also a part of yourself. It's the shadow learning side of it. And Jung, and in more modern times, Jordan Peterson talks about this, the shadow self. So you can have a better relationship with that self, only if you don't have any secrets. This is your personal journal, like no one's going to read this, so be honest with at least yourself. Next we go to week 2, which is the actual induction phase. Now we are consciously wanting to induce lucid dreaming. So in week 1, you are not actually consuming this elixir. Week 2 you are, but not just yet. The first thing you want to do is express intent for lucid dreaming. So you are going to, before you sleep, your last 3 sentences that you tell to your mind will be something like, today I will control my dreams. Today I will control my dreams. Today I will control my dreams. And then you try to fall asleep, right? That tells your mind what to do. It's an auto-suggestion. You're telling your mind, hey, this is what's expected. Go according to the plan. Next is the mental rehearsal of a dream. So try to have a memory of a dream that you had in the past. I have this very specific dream of me. I was a child in this dream because like all the bushes and everything were pretty high. So I knew that I was like, 4 or something like that. And in this dream, there's a bridge, like many dreams. And it's not even a real bridge. It's like a chasm between 2 grassy hills or cliffs. There's a tree which has fallen over, forming a bridge. And it's a slippery tree. It's like moss growing on it. And there's a girl on the other side. And this is not any kind of sexual dream, right? This girl is just a child like myself. So this girl is on the other side, and I need to talk to her. I need to meet her. I don't know why it's important, but it is. And I start walking on this bridge, but every time I reach the other side, I wake up. So I don't know what the conclusion of that dream is, but I remember that dream pretty vividly. So I'll induce dreaming by imagining that dream, and then eventually you fall asleep. And for whatever reason, doing that increases the chance of lucid dreaming induction. Then let's talk about the elixir, all right? This is the chemical induction for lucid dreaming. And I have to have a medical disclaimer. I don't recommend lucid dreaming. I don't recommend any of these substances which I'm going to talk about. This is not medical advice. You proceed at your own risk. So this is not something you may be familiar with. This is a bottle of methylene blue. It's a very special and interesting substance. This is actually a mitochondrial support solution. And what this does is it has many properties. Some of them are anti-aging properties, but that's not what we need for this purpose. And in fact, methylene blue is not considered to be a sleep supplement at all. In fact, it's an energy-inducing supplement. It makes you more energetic, it makes you more cognizant, makes your brain power crank up. It's an overclocking type supplement. But it also has the function of increasing memory recall by boosting up the mitochondria in your brain. So that's why methylene blue is a core component of this. But methylene blue is kind of like a time bomb. So methylene blue has 30 minutes to 1 hour before it kicks in. So you don't want to have this 1 hour prior to bed. You want to have it immediately when you're lying down to sleep, because then you fall asleep and then it activates, which is ideal. You want it to activate once you're already asleep, not before. Because if it's before, then you're just going to lose sleep. You're not going to be able to sleep if methylene blue is activated. So methylene blue, then glycine. Glycine is a neurotransmitter which it boosts the vividness of your dream. It makes your dream come to life. It's more colorful. It's just more easy to remember. It kind of cranks up the dream to 11, all right? So glycine is for the neurotransmitter benefit. And then you have something called ZMA. ZMA is a supplement. It's zinc magnesium aspartate. So it's a zinc and magnesium supplement, basically. It also contains vitamin B6. So you can either buy ZMA, or you can just buy zinc supplement separately, magnesium supplement separately, and B6 separately. That's completely up to you how you want to do it. It's the core components are the same. If you are struggling to sleep, then perhaps leave the zinc out, because zinc is a little bit of an excitatory. So just stick with the magnesium. The B6 also, if you have a powerful animal-based diet, you don't really need B6 because you're getting plenty of B6 through your animal-based diet. So the main component is really magnesium. And if you want to cross out ZMA, by the way, let me tick these things off. I wanted to tick these things off as the video progressed. I thought that'd be cool progression, but I forgot. So here we are. We talked about methylene blue, talked about glycine. So zinc, magnesium, and if you want to just do magnesium, you can do magnesium glycinate and just leave out the zinc and leave out the B6 if that's what you want to do. All right, so this B6 is an optional, because if you're already getting ZMA, then you don't need an additional source of B6. So that's why I put a question mark. You have two other items, choline and valerian root. These are optional. If you want, you can try them. I have not needed them, but I do think that they help. So valerian root is going to relax you, and choline is going to again boost recall of your dreams. So it's experimental. I'm going to put a question mark on these. It depends on your personal biochemistry. There's other things too, but these are the basics. Try these. If they don't work, then put in the comments, and maybe I'll add other components to the elixir. All right, very powerful. Like, think about what's going on here. The methylene blue is boosting cognition and memory recall, and the glycine is making your dreams more lucid and more vivid. The ZMA on itself is a powerful inducer of sleep because of the magnesium specifically. B6 improves recall, choline improves recall, valerian gives you a more relaxed state. So together, this is, a one-shot success to get to lucid dreaming. So we talked about intent, we talked about mental rehearsals, we talked about the elixir. Now we talk about programmable lights. So this is another tactic which I've never seen anybody cover on YouTube, because most YouTubers don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? That's actually a whole channel called Explore Lucid Dreaming, and he has the most basic freaking advice. You don't get basic advice here, boys. You get the actual good stuff. So programmable lights. I'll give you an example. Philips Hue is a kind of a programmable light, which is what I own. You can kind of set up when the light turns on. You have a program, like you have an app on your phone which you can use to set up when the lights turn on. So take your time of waking. For me, it's usually 8 a.m. Subtract 2, so 6 a.m. So -2, you get that time, and you use the, holy shit, it's getting windy out here. Hopefully you can still hear because I have this lav mic. So the programmable lights turn on 2 hours prior to waking. And what you're doing is you're setting it on for 15 minutes and then off for 15 minutes. On 15 minutes and then off for 15 minutes. And you're not getting it too bright. You're just getting it bright enough that it induces some kind of wakefulness in you. What I mean by that is, it doesn't straight up wake you up because it's so bright, but it just tells your brain, hey, be alert. And doing that induces lucid dreaming. So follow this protocol and use this elixir, and it's like 80 to 90% guarantee that you're going to get lucid dreaming. Finally, the question is, once you reliably induce lucid dreaming, what do you do with that newfound power? What you do is, first, you find yourself a mentor. So you can actually find high quality, not even find, make your own mentor. Because you're lucid dreaming, right? So what you do is choose whichever influencer or even historical figure that you want to emulate or get advice from, and you can actually bring them into your lucid dream. So I did this, and it's kind of cringe now, but I did this with Jordan Peterson. And this was before he joined Daily Wire. This is before his mental breakdown, which, I don't know, something bad happened to him during that 1 year. And when he came out, he was just not the same. I didn't like him anymore. I didn't have the same respect. But during the first, 6 months of his rise, I really liked him. I really liked his message. I really liked his charisma. I liked the fact that he knew so much about the world, which I didn't. So I watched a lot of his content with the intention of, I'm going to create this Jordan Peterson in my mind, and I can use him for advice and mentorship in my dream. You can do this for anybody, right? If Hamza's message really resonates with you, enlist Hamza as your personal mentor. Just watch a lot of his content, absorb his way of speaking, the kind of advice that he gives, and then have the intention of bringing him to life in your dream. Next item is future sight. This is something which you should definitely do, even if you don't do mentorship, because mentorship, like creating a facsimile of a person in your dream, is a challenge. But future sight is something you should absolutely do. I talked about this yesterday's lecture. Future sight is the art and craft of bringing to life your future self before he has even arisen. So I bring to life my 30-year-old version of myself, and I imagine there's this man. He's stronger than me. He has calluses on his arm. His neck is thicker, his voice is deeper, his charisma, his presence is more powerful. He's a better storyteller. He's a 9 out of 10 storyteller. He has an abundance mindset with money. I'm not there yet, right? I'm not 30 yet, but I can envision that 30-year-old version of myself in the lucid dream and get mentorship from my future self, and thereby become him before I have to become him. Thereby, basically, I'm using a shortcut. Imagine if you're 16, 17. You visualize the 25-year-old version of yourself. Now, you have the maturity and understanding and attitude of an older version of you, and you're still competing with fellow 16-year-olds. How powerful is that? That's the power of lucid dreaming, man. You bend reality to your will and use that to bend the actual reality to your will. Next, okay, I don't know if I want to talk about this one. You can practice sex, all right? You can practice sex in your lucid dreams. Don't get too carried away, but you can, and it does carry over to real life. It makes you more mindful, makes you more present, makes you enjoy the experience more. I don't know how much I want to share about this. Alright, I'll tell you some guidelines, alright? Don't get carried away, don't do it every single day. I don't know what effect it has on the dopamine circuits, like, watching porn does. It's not the same though. I've experimented with it. I don't understand the neurochemistry, I'll be completely honest. I don't think anybody has studied this. No scientist, even the foremost experts, doesn't know what's going on over here. But it's real. It's different from visualizing porn on the internet, because you're making a reality. It has a different effect on the dopamine circuitry. It's not a negative effect. But like anything, I want to caution you that, too much of a good thing is a bad thing, right? So I want to give you that disclaimer. Next, we have triumphs. So you have core memories. Everybody has won at something in the past. Everybody has some kind of victory in their life. I want you to relive those core victory memories to shape the person that you are right now. So future sight was looking forward, imagining the victorious, triumphant future you and bringing him here. Core memories is when you look at the past and relive memories which you have already been seeing success in. So one of mine is, I remember this very, very vividly, and I'm young, like super young. I think like 5th grade or maybe 4th grade even. I run out of my school bus and I have this silver medal with a green ribbon around it. I'm running to my mom because I was so proud. I had won this science Olympiad or something, like super nerdy stuff. But I'll never forget it because that was a moment of triumph for me. And I use that to remind myself that I have the mental ability to solve any kind of problem. I believe myself to be gifted enough to crack any kind of problem using my intellect. Is it true or not? Doesn't matter. I manifest a reality that's helpful for me in my life. And then finally, we have the rehearsals. So this is what Tim Ferriss was talking about, rehearsing wrestling before he had to do any kind of competition. You can use this for anything. You can use this for any kind of musical instrument. You can use this for talking to girls. You can use this for public speaking, like what I do. So the reason I started doing lucid dreaming again is specifically for these calls. These are live streams. So I don't really have any kind of crutch. I don't have notes that I can read and deliver. I can't edit this too much in post. I don't have AI generated images to drive engagement. It's just kind of me chilling with you in real time, having a conversation, trying to impart some kind of knowledge that I have. But even so, this is a YouTube video, and this is of course a business. I need these videos to perform, yeah? That's just the truth of it, right? Any YouTuber who says otherwise is lying. So the question is, like, how do I make a compelling video, but do it without notes, do it without editing? I practice this in my sleep before I come on stage. This is essentially a kind of stage, well, a personal stage, because I'm trying to talk to one of you. And that's a part of the lucid dreaming self-hypnosis. I'm trying to talk as personally, but in a prepared way, to one person. Now, it's a question whether that comes off like that on camera or not. But that's the thing. You can practice any kind of scenario that you want. You can modify this. Oh, and I should also say, methylene blue is not FDA regulated. All right? So the quality control is all over the place. So you can only get it from some places which have the highest certification rating. It's called a certificate of analysis. COA, right? It's called a pharmaceutical certificate of analysis. And so it's also something called the USP rating. So you need to look for these two components in order to make your purchase, because a lot of brands are selling bad quality methylene blue which have heavy metals which are probably doing more harm than good. So you want the good quality stuff. The one which I use is called Meraki Medicinal. All right, I don't know how well you can see it, but Meraki Medicinal. You can see I've gone through quite a bit of it. This is the brand that I recommend. I actually reached out to them so that I can read their COA, which is the certificate of analysis, and actually make sure that they are, being truthful to their claims. So I talked to them. I even got a discount code for 15% off, I think. So if you use a discount code, you're going to get 15% off. It's up to you if you want to use it or not. So that's my disclaimer about methylene blue. Do not get the Amazon brands. There's a lot of brands on Amazon which are just selling methylene blue. They claim to be USP verified. I don't know if that's true. I know that this brand is actually verified. So just choose this. I hope it's available across the world. I don't know. But if you're in the US, for sure you can get it. And I have a challenge for you. So as you know, these lectures are not free. I have a fee for these. One of them is the homework. So the homework for today is write down in the comments section below, or if you're in Carl's Country Club, my private community for health and education, you should do this in the Carl's Country Club instead. Go to the challenges category and write this down. You're going to write why you want to do lucid dreaming, because when you connect a why to what you're going to do, that's when you see success. And I want you to, you've got a bunch of knowledge, right? I taught you a bunch of things. Immediately connect it to your why, and then write it down in the comments or in Carl's Country Club. I will assess and I will give feedback as required. Finally, I'll say that tomorrow's lecture is actually going to be a whole lecture on methylene blue, because I believe it's that important. This chemical has many applications. I think you should be educated on its importance. Yesterday's lecture was about brainwashing yourself for success. I think that goes really well with this lecture. So if you haven't watched that, you absolutely should. I teach 3 other techniques other than lucid dreaming to brainwash yourself. And then the supplements I've mentioned glycine, ZMA, B6, etc. I have the Amazon page for those exact supplements, including the lights and the watch, actually. So you can check out these supplements and everything in the Amazon link. And of course, I should mention the risk of lucid dreaming. There's a reason I stopped doing lucid dreaming, which is lucid dreaming actually takes away from the restfulness of sleep, because you're using your sleep also as a training device. So when you do that, you aren't getting the full restorative benefits of sleep. On top of that, there's another thing. You're not that wise. You don't have that much wisdom, and nor do I. So when you're taking control of your subconscious like this, you're basically saying to your subconscious, hey, this is what we're going to focus on. Let's focus on this. But the thing is, in life, you often don't know what the right thing to focus on is. So your subconscious has its own wisdom, and sometimes it's better to let go of the wheel and let the subconscious rehearse whatever it wants to rehearse. So I was doing lucid dreaming for quite a while, almost a year, more than a year probably. and I let it go because I wasn't getting the restful sleep that I wanted, and also I wanted to leave the reins and let the subconscious take over for some time. Now that I have a definite intent of getting good at these video calls, I want to bring back lucid dreaming and take command of my subconscious. So it depends on you, where you are in life. I recommend getting a mastery of this skill, and then when you don't need it, just don't do it. So you can actually induce this, right? I told you how to induce this chemically. So just don't take the methylene blue at night and you won't lucid dream. Also, I should speak about the timing of these of the elixir. So the glycine, ZMA, B6, choline, valerian root, you can have it an hour before bed, because if you drink a lot of liquids just before you sleep, it's likely that you want to piss, and then you're going to disrupt your sleep cycle, right? So you can have all these an hour before bed so that you have an opportunity to urinate, and then you aren't interrupted when you are actually dreaming. But the methylene blue is different. The methylene blue, you have it just before sleeping. Like you have it, then go to your bed. So how much of it do you have? You have 5 milligrams, which is one. Let me actually show you this stuff. It's actually just one dropper of methylene blue just before you sleep. So that's the recommendations on dosage. Finally, I'll say that if you like me, and I'm not talking about my content, if you like me personally, then you should follow me on Instagram, because I always share these little nuggets of knowledge as I go about my day, and I think it will greatly benefit you. And also, if you just want to know me personally, right, Instagram is the way to go. There we have it, boys. That's the lecture for today. I appreciate your time watching this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. And also tell me, would you like private coaching from me? Something I've been pondering, and I haven't made that offer yet. But if that's something you're interested in, then put in the comments. Maybe I'll create a private coaching product. So there we have it, boys. Good day. I'm going to enjoy my gorgeous day here in Hawaii. Peace.